There are many reasons to climb the Tower of God: money, power, prestige, or even revenge. All this and more can be attained by those who manage to reach the top of the tower. But for Rachel, there has only ever been one wish: to see the starry night sky. So she embarks on a dangerous journey to the tower, which she enters through a portal that opens up beneath her and her friend Baum, who desperately wants to stop her from leaving him. Baum has no desires of money or power that drive him to climb the tower, but a life without Rachel seems unbearable to him, so he too vanishes through the great door beneath him. In the tower, Baum is greeted by Hedon, the caretaker of the tower, who asks him if he is ready for the first of many tests that could bring him to the top of the tower, and thus to Rachel. A large cage reveals itself before Baum's eyes, with a sinister inhabitant, a white steel eel. The aggressive eel is guarding a black sphere in the center of the cage, which Baum needs to destroy to pass his first test. Hedon offers him a last opportunity to turn around and leave the tower, but Baum immediately sprints towards the cage. At the last moment, he is forcibly stopped by a kick in the face. Baum's attackers introduce themselves as Princess Yuri and Evan, her helper and navigator. Yuri doesn't want to let the innocent and weak-looking Baum go into battle against the eel so defenselessly, and decides to lend Baum her sword, the Black March, despite much protest from Evan. Armed with Yuri's sword, Baum enters the cage. The big eel heads straight towards him, tears open its big mouth, and swallows Baum. Yuri cries out in horror and wants to rush to Baum's aid, but she is stopped by Hedon. Suddenly, the eel writhes in agony and green slime oozes from its mouth. Baum has indeed done the right thing and passed the first test by overcoming the fear of death. The monster spits Baum out, who strides to the sphere and thrusts the sword into it with all his strength. But nothing happens. The sphere remains whole. While Baum is frantically stabbing the sphere, the eel regains its strength and sets off to attack Baum again. Evan shouts at Baum that he should ask the sword for help. To the great astonishment of the spectators, the sword actually responds to Baum's call for help. A woman appears from the sword and defeats the eel. She then grants Baum the strength to climb the tower and teleports him to the next level. Yuri cannot believe what she has just witnessed. She has often asked the sword for strength and has never been granted it. Moreover, she now has another problem. Baum has disappeared into the next level with her sword. Now, Yuri and Evan have to follow him to retrieve it. Baum thinks back to the moment he met Rachel. He was trapped in a cave, lonely, dirty, and feral, until one day Rachel found him and told him about the world. She taught him to read and write, and drew him a picture of the stars she so desperately wanted to see. Suddenly, Baum finds himself in his second test. The 400 contestants on a field are to reduce their number to 200 in a given time using all possible means. Merciless fights break out immediately between the competitors, and Baum escapes death by a hair's breadth several times. But suddenly, he finds himself surrounded by 3 opponents: a huge, multi-eyed creature, a white-haired young man with a briefcase, and an aggressive alligator. All seem to be out to get him. However, the white-haired man, Kun Aguero Agnes, is looking for strong allies with whom he can climb the tower. At first, he wants to leave Baum to his fate, but a glimpse of Baum's mighty sword arouses Kun's curiosity, and he rescues him from the clutches of the alligator, Rock Wraithrazor. Baum and Kun decide that the best tactic is to just hide and wait for their opponents to eliminate each other. But suddenly, they are found and attacked by Rock. Kun is just able to fend off his attack with his briefcase, and before Rock can launch his next attack, the end of the test is announced. But at the same time, the next test is already declared. The remaining participants have 5 minutes to find 2 allies. This gives Baum and Kun no choice but to form an alliance with Rock. The remaining 120 players who have passed the 2 tests are now taken to Evan Kell's mothership. They are greeted by Lero Rowe, test administrator, and Ranker, which is someone who has managed to climb to the top of the tower and get to King Jahad. Lero explains that some further culling of the participants is unavoidable. He uses Shinsu, the power of the tower, to flood the room with a heavy wave and build a Shinsu wall between himself and the participants. Only the teams whose members can all break through the Shinsu wall can advance to the next round. While the puzzled participants stand behind the wall, Baum seems to not have been pushed back by the wave and is already on the right side of the room, to Lero's great astonishment. Subsequently, one by one, some participants manage to break through the Shinsu wall and get to the other side. Rock and Kun also walk through the Shinsu barrier without any problems, and Bomb's team thus reaches the next test together. While Bomb, Kun, and Rock wait to be admitted to the next test, they receive a tip from one of the other participants. He's convinced that the test needs to be passed in under 5 minutes, as agonized screams are only coming from those teams that are in the testing room for longer than 5 minutes. When Bomb, Kun, and Rock enter the test room, they find the test director Han Sang-yu sitting in front of 12 red doors. His only instruction is that they must open the correct door within 10 minutes. Kun desperately tries to use his logic to figure out which door might be the correct one, but he is haunted by memories of his past and the betrayal of his half-sister Maria, who was made a princess of Jahad, thus exiling and dismantling Kun's family. Rock is furious because of the seemingly hopeless situation. Just before 5 minutes expire, he kicks in a random door. And indeed, the aim of the test was to simply open any door within 5 minutes, because, as Han Sang explains, the world never waits for perfect certainty. After the test, Lee Ro announces another bonus test, but this one is extraordinary. Participation is voluntary, and the winning team gets permission to climb the tower without having to pass another test. All teams accept this irresistible offer and agree to join. The bonus test is called the Crown Game and consists of 5 rounds, in which the teams must first try to seize a crown and then defend it. One of the team members in possession of the crown must put it on their head and sit on a throne until the game ends. In addition to the teams that have passed the previous test together, another team from a different testing area also takes part. To Bomb's great shock, he takes a closer look at one of the girls from this new team and thinks he has recognized Rachel beneath a big cape. The first 2 teams now enter the arena and start to fight. Anak, a lizard girl, turns out to be particularly strong and can easily defeat her opponents and quickly snatch the crown. As the second round begins, new teams storm into the arena and attack Anak's team, but she defends herself and the crown with her powerful sword, an ignition weapon called Green April. While Anak is using her sword, Bomb's sword, Black March, starts to move strangely, and suddenly the door of his waiting room is blown up. Anak stands in front of Bomb and demands to know where he got this sword. She explains that both her Green April and his Black March are from the 13-month series, forged by a master craftsman and bestowed by King Jahad upon his princesses. Through this information, Anak reveals that she too is a princess of Jahad and demands that Bomb hand over his sword to her. But Bomb refuses, as he borrowed it from Yuri and wants to give it back to her as well. When Anak sets out to attack Bomb, Lee Ro promptly intervenes and disqualifies her and her team for leaving the throne. As the next round starts, Bomb, Kun, and Rock, among several other teams, enter the arena. Kun manages to quickly snatch the crown and put it in his briefcase. To the great astonishment of the participants, however, he immediately takes it out again, throws it to them. While the participants fight relentlessly for the crown, they suddenly realize that this was just a trick. Kun had a fake crown in his briefcase, and now Bomb is sitting on the throne with the real one on his head. The mysterious team, including Rachel, is now also in the arena and ready to fight. While the teams are taking each other out, Rachel suddenly stands near Bomb's throne, disguised in a cape and her back turned towards him. Bomb is in despair about the fact that Rachel is so close to him, yet he's not able to leave his throne and she won't turn around to look at him. All of a sudden, Rachel is attacked by another player, and Bomb instantly jumps up to save her. The attacker hits Bomb on the head, and he sinks to the ground with Rachel. Mighty beams of light shoot up from where Bomb and Rachel are lying. They wound the opponent and destroy the crown. Bomb gets up and wants to execute his opponent with his sword, but the woman from the sword freezes time, kisses Bomb, and he faints again. After the test, Lee Ro and Han Sang discussed what happened during the crown game. Since the crown was destroyed, no winner could be determined. Han Sang explains to Lee Ro, the reason for these tests is not to find out who is worthy to climb the tower, but to expel those who have thoughts or powers that would bring harm to the tower. This makes Lee Ro think. Bomb seems to be so powerful that he's far beyond simply using Shinsu. He himself became Shinsu. So could he indeed pose a danger to the tower? Bomb is only granted a short time to recover before the next test, which aims to categorize the contestants into one of 5 basic positions: fisherman, spear-bearer, light-bearer, scout, and wave controller. Bomb is assigned to the wave controllers, whose instructor is Yuga. In the first training session, the participants are instructed to form a contract with an administrator, which costs Bomb a lot of energy. After the training sessions, all participants gather in the cafeteria and eat together. The atmosphere is cheerful, and everyone is friendly with each other. However, the mood changes when Anak enters. She addresses Endorsi, a girl on Rachel's team, and reveals her secret. She too is a princess of Jihad. When Kun later researches information about his fellow combatants, he comes across some surprises. Rock seems to have mastered his training so well that he already passed on to the next round. But what he learns about Anak makes him shudder. According to the system, she should actually be dead. In the fisherman's training, Endorsi and Anak engage in a bitter fight on high platforms. Anak attacks Endorsi, but she is not strong enough. Endorsi defeats her and realizes that the lizard girl is actually Princess Anak's orphan. The chosen princesses of Jihad were forbidden to reproduce and thus pass on their powers. But Anak's mother had broken this rule when she fell in love and had a child with the chef of the tower. Consequently, her house was set on fire by the other princesses of Jihad. Now, the lizard girl has returned to the tower to take revenge for her mother on all with the name Jihad, and Endorsi is to be the first. The struggle ends when they both fall off the platforms, badly injuring themselves. But after a short period of recovery, the next test already begins, and the participants are split into 2 teams. Team A, which includes Kun, Anak, Shibisu, and Loru, among others, is to start first. The team selects Anak to be their It and wear a red badge, which she has to defend until the end. Test examiner Quant also takes part and is the second It with a red badge. His goal is to steal Anak's badge while the entire Team A tries to steal his badge. Kun has devised a special strategy and manages to delay Quant until Anak hides under the bridge. But Quant quickly sees through the plan and jumps off the bridge, pulling Kun with him. But Anak, who lingered on a floating lighthouse, saves Kun with her green April. Since Quant now has 2 little Shinsu left to climb back up, Team A is almost certain to win. But unbeknownst to their comrades, Kun and Loru help Quant get back on the bridge and stop Anak. To the test administrators, this seems like an incomprehensible betrayal of Kun to his friends, but they soon realize Kun knows that he and his friends in Team A are guaranteed to pass despite their defeat. However, Bomb and Endorsi in Team B would only be able to pass with a victory. Now it's Team B's turn. After a brief dispute, Endorsi is appointed It, but she too seems to suddenly turn against her own team and kills the other 2 fishermen. Ho also follows his own plans. Days earlier, he'd received an anonymous letter saying that the way to get rid of Bomb is to kill Rachel. Ho holds a grudge against Bomb. Although they are friends, he envies Bomb's abilities and the fact that everything comes easily to him. When Bomb and Quant find Ho, he's holding Rachel hostage at knife point. During an intense struggle, Ho accidentally stabs his knife deep into Rachel's back. Bomb thereupon incapacitates him with a Shinsu technique that took even Quant hundreds of years to master. While Rachel is bleeding heavily in Bomb's arms, Ho raises his knife and rams it into his own chest. When Endorsi arrives on the scene, she manages to trick Quant with Bomb's help and steal his badge, leading Team B to victory. After the test, the remaining participants hold a memorial for Ho. Since Rachel can no longer walk due to the stab wounds in her back, Bomb promises to be her legs and carry her to the top of the tower. Meanwhile, Wave Controller teacher Yuga is paid a visit by Han Sung. He reveals Yuga to be Lopo Bia-ren, a member of the Royal Enforcement Division whose mission it is to retrieve the Green April and eliminate the imposter Princess Anak. To Ren's surprise, however, Han Sung lets him continue his plans unhindered. The next day, the results of the test are announced. All of the friends have passed, but Han Sung explains that Rachel is unable to take part in the next test because of her injuries, and she, therefore, fails. Kun is indignant about this and demands to take the administrator's test, but Han Sung explains to him that there is one condition that Kun cannot fulfill. Only an irregular, someone who entered the tower by opening the gates on their own, instead of being chosen by the tower, can take the administrator's test. Bomb then comes forward and, to the astonishment of his companions, reveals that he is an irregular. Bomb consults with his administrator and is granted permission to take the test with Rachel. The other participants are also offered the choice to help the two, and, if successful, earn the right to immediately climb the tower by the shortest route. When the test starts, Bomb and Rachel find themselves in a Shinsu bubble, underwater, where their task is to wait until dolphins have spun their net around them, only to be eaten and spat out by the net dolphin queen. Meanwhile, on land, the other participants have to keep things running smoothly and defend the dolphins against various creatures: barnacle goblins, giant wetworms, striped earth pigs, and most dangerous of all, the bull. Shibisu soon faces this bull in a cave. He is instantly attacked, but can be saved just in time by Anak. Her and Endorsi take turns fighting the monster, but the bull flees, and the girls get separated trying to follow it. Endorsi quickly finds it again and fights it with all her strength. Meanwhile, Anak is found by Ren, who is on the mission to retrieve her sword, and attacks her. Ren badly injures Anak before steering the bull towards him, who now has Endorsi in its clutches. Ren throws the green April to Endorsi and orders her to kill Anak in the name of her father, the King of Jihad, as the very existence of Anak is a disgrace to the tower. However, Endorsi reaches out to Anak, and the two princesses fight Ren with combined forces. Ren seems to prevail at first, but suddenly, Princess Yuri intervenes. She tells Ren that she will now take over retrieving the swords of the 13-month series herself, but Ren refuses to back down. She then attacks him with a snap of her fingers and orders her follower Cordon to kill him. In his last breath, Ren confesses that he sent the bull towards Bomb and Rachel. The bull destroys the Shinsu bubble and attacks Bomb. Bomb defends himself with powerful Shinsu balls, but he is not strong enough, and the bull devours him. But suddenly, the bull writhes in agony and explodes from the inside. Bomb falls into Rachel's arms, and together they are dragged upwards by the net dolphin queen. Their goal is finally within reach. Bomb will soon be able to see the stars at the top of the tower with Rachel. He reaches out to her, but suddenly, Rachel stands up and pushes him into the abyss. Did Rachel really just want to see the stars? No. All she wanted was to be a star herself. Hedon realized this immediately when she first entered the tower and set her a task. Her condition for climbing the tower was that she had to kill Bomb. Since then, she has been waiting for the ideal moment to do so. Their time together in the tower had only strengthened her determination. Bomb seemed to get everything with ease she so desperately craved: friendships, prestige, power, and immeasurable strength. The anger and jealousy grew inside of Rachel, until finally the ideal opportunity presented itself to get rid of Bomb in the final test. And Rachel's plan worked. The remaining participants, mourning Bomb's supposedly tragic accidental death, decide together to fulfill Bomb's greatest wish, to take Rachel to the top of the tower. But Bomb awakes at the bottom of the lake. Now he has a reason to climb the tower after all, to find his answers. Thank you for sticking until the end. Subscribe for more videos like this.